Identifying linear functions. A linear function is a function that forms a straight line. Okay, you can see line is right there in the word. Okay, it's going to be a straight line. If it curves, okay, if it looks like a parabola or a U where it keeps going on, in this case kind of a smiley face, it's not going to be linear. If it breaks, so like an absolute value will look kind of like a V, okay, that also is not going to be linear. It's got to be just straight. Well, that's not quite straight, but a straight line. And it also has to be a function. Okay. Standard form is this form right here. Okay. Your variables are both on one side and your constant is on the other. And this is one where we don't work with this form that much, but it's important because if you can write your equation in this form, you know that it's going to be a linear equation. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean it's a function, but you know it's going to be a linear equation. Now, one thing you need to note for standard form, and this is important, so make sure you get it in your notes, is that these variables can't have exponents other than 1. Okay? They can't be multiplied by each other. All right? They could be subtracted. You could have like a negative 2x or a 2x minus 3y, but they can't be multiplied or divided by each other. They can't have a radical, so it can't be a square root of x or a absolute value. Okay, your variable, and it's either variable, okay, can't be in the denominator of a fraction. All right, and the other thing is you cannot have 0 as the constant, so the number you're multiplying that variable by, for your y value. Okay, for your x value. Okay, you cannot have 0, no, for your y. Man, I'm getting it backwards. For your y. Okay, and we'll look at why not in a second. Okay, but you cannot have like 2x plus 0 y equals 7. Okay, you cannot have that. So if you have any of these situations, it's not a linear function or linear equation, either one. Okay, and basically your linear equation is going to be something that's going to be a straight line, except for the one case where you have a linear equation that is not a linear function. And there's only one case where that can happen. Okay, concept 1, identifying a linear function by its graph. All right, so a linear function will form a straight line that is not vertical, and this is important. Okay, it's pretty easy to tell these guys apart and say, oh yeah, these are straight, these are linear functions, these are all bent or curved, or in some cases you could even find something that's broken. That's not a linear function. But this is the case, this is the kind of outside of the norm case where you have a straight line. Okay, this is a linear equation, but this is not a linear function. Okay, so not a function. It's not a function at all. Right? Oh man, my mouse is really messing up. Okay, not a function at all. And why is it not a function? Well, it does not pass our vertical line test. Right? This, as an equation, would look like y equals, x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, x equals 5. Right? There's no y value in there. Okay, you could think of this as 0 times y plus x. Okay, this is always going to be 0. Right? This is always, it doesn't even appear in our equation. Okay, so whatever value we put in for 0, x is always going to equal 5. Okay, and so we get a straight line at x equals 5, vertical, and it's not a function. Still linear, but not a function.